Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me this afternoon for my final webinar of January. First month is done. It's been a busy month, so I appreciate for you guys if you've been to a few already. This is my second deep dive webinar, which I'll explain a little bit more about in a minute. If this is your first webinar at Aventido, I'm Sam. I am the Solutions Expert Manager here. Um, we at Aventido do webinars, I would say nearly every day, probably potentially every other day, sometimes two a day, because we did one this morning as well. We have a jam-packed schedule of all of our solutions for you guys to find out more about them. Sometimes our webinars are short, sometimes they're a bit longer, and this is one of the longer ones today. So thanks for finishing your day with me. As I said, we do plenty of webinars at Aventido, so I wanted just to show you where they are if you wanted to come again. So I will share my screen here. On the Aventido page, you can go to aventido.com or you can go to aventido.com/events webinars, and that's where our events are. There are other things on the website as well. All our events are kind of here, our webinars are there. Our resources are here. So there's an access to work resource hub. There's a DSA resource hub. We have our client pages as well. So, obviously you're looking at Lernabl today, but if you want to know anything about another solution, all you have to do is just click on it. It'll give you a little write-up about what it's all about. There'll be a little video there, some features and even some resources if you need anything else as well. So it's a great way to explore the other solutions that we have here. And as I said, we've always got lots on. Even tomorrow, there is an iView webinar as well. And I believe, oh no, Monday, we do also have the deep dive for MindMeister as well. But yes, we're here for the Learnable deep dive. I'll put a link here so you can sign up to any events that you like. I'll put it in the chat. Feel free to use the chat for anything else you'd like to ask any questions, say hello, say goodbye. It all goes in there. The session's being recorded as well, and I will probably be sending that out on Monday, just because I am not working tomorrow. Well, I am working tomorrow, but I am the BET conference in London, so I'm going to be away from my computer for most of the whole day. So forgive me for the delayed reach out to you guys, but I will reach out to you. Don't worry. So yes, this month we've been doing the deep dive series, which is kind of a comprehensive look at each solution. We also did the lightning sessions at the beginning, which were shorter sessions, but this is for me to introduce the software, explain what it does, who it helps, how to set it up, and then to how it works and how to use it. And we'll be looking at all the features that it has. So this is great if you're an AT trainer. It's great if you just want to learn a little bit more about the software that you didn't know before. And again, the recording will be a great resource if you need to go fully into anything. So that's what the deep dive sessions are all about. So let's start off by just explaining what Learnabl is. I think that's a good place to start. Learnabl is it's an exam preparation tool, basically a tool that has been created to create more personalized and diverse study methods when it comes to revising and studying and preparing for exams. Because basically, we thought that this was an area where students don't get a lot of support. If we think about it could be a student at university, it could be a student doing A-levels or even GCSEs, and they are studying a subject. That subject is going to be assessed in the form of an exam. That exam is going to be at the end of the semester, or the end of term, or the end of the whole end of the academic year. What happens throughout that year is, we learn bit by bit each week new topics, new parts of the course, new vocabulary. Then at the end comes the exam. What do we need to do? We need to prepare for that exam. We need to do some revision, some studying. How do we do that? Do we look back at the notes we took over the course of the year, read chapters of textbooks, make flashcards? Are we lucky enough that the tutor's going to put a recap session on? Um, yes, those are all ways of doing that. But I think that's about as far as a lot of people go. And some of those kind of tasks can be quite difficult for certain individuals. So what we wanted to do was kind of create a suite of engaging, proven revision methods, ways of learning your study material that are more diverse and might suit the way that you learn and process information. So that's what Learnable is. It's 10 different 10 different study methods in the system. And the way in which it works, which I'll show you as we go through, is it is a year-round study aid. It's not just the tool to use at the end. This is something to go alongside your learning schedule as you learn new things each week. You can add them to Learnable. And then when it comes to studying, it can retrieve everything out of there. And these kind of things align with kind of educational practices, spaced repetition, retrieval practice. These are key effective ways of learning. This isn't a cramming tool. You might do a bit of cramming towards the end. You are going to up the amount of studying that you do in the lead up to the exam. But if we can do it from the get-go, then that's going to hopefully help us process that information, turn it into long-term memory. Who's Learnable for? Who could make use of this software? I think this is a perfect solution for those with ADHD who particularly struggle with preparing for exams. I think, revising is difficult for those with ADHD, particularly if they've not got the skills and they've only been taught limited methods. If you told someone with ADHD, go back, reread your notes, reread a chapter of that book. How long can they stay on that particular task for before they potentially get distracted? Could be quite difficult. But maybe if you kind of gamify some of your study material, you've got different and more interactive methods, then that's going to increase engagement, and that should hopefully put you on the way to success for your exam. Students with dyslexia and dyspraxia as well, there's a multi-sensory learning approach with the various different methods that we have there. You can tell Learnable how you want to focus, and it'll tell you which methods are beneficial for certain focused areas. We'll look into that very shortly as well. There's a mock exam feature built into Learnable as well. So once you've done the studying and you want to have a little test, you can do with the mock exam feature. Students with visual impairments can take advantage of the text-to-speech functionality that's built into here, the ability to record audio and listen back to your notes as well. And again, these are good for kind of memorization and recall. Students with ASC, I think what Learnable offers is very much a kind of routine and predictability and structured approach to revision. Everything in here has step-by-step guides of how to use it, so it's very easy to pick up. We do also have our YouTube channel, which I'll show you as well, which has got bite-sized videos of how to do and use certain features of Learnable. There's a study planner in here as well for those with time management issues. That's another layer of support there where it can bring your diary in and work out what's the best time for you to do your study sessions. Finally, mental health conditions as well. I bolded stress and anxiety there because preparing for exams is a difficult time. There's a lot of pressure on a module, on a subject that you're studying, if the only assessment part is one exam and all the marks or credits are designated for that one exam that you have to do. So yeah, that can lead to a lot of stress and anxiety. What we want to use Learnable for is to kind of alleviate those things. So we get ourselves as prepared as possible. We feel engaged, and I always say the two things basically are to increase engagement and build your confidence. So you feel confident and prepared for when that exam is going to take place. There's also the well-being area in here as well. It's kind of got hints and tips to prepare for exams too. So that's what Learnable's all about. Who it's going to help. Let's have a look, see how it works. So, as I said, I am doing a deep dive today. So, one thing I wanted to start with was just how do you get to Learnable and how do you set it up? So, everybody gets a code for Learnable when they get given a license. They can go straight to learnable.com and then go to Learnable login, which will then open this next page, which I didn't already have open, but I'll open it again. And then you can either click login or you can register now. And they both actually take you to the same place. But for the first time, you can sign in with your social accounts and then apply the code afterwards. Or you can, if you don't use Google or Microsoft, you can sign up now, fill in the details that way. I love it when it has this because I don't have to remember passwords then. I think it's much easier. So you can add your email in. It isn't going to ask me to add a code in because obviously I've already signed mine up. But we'll get ourselves logged in a second. There we go. And I'll show you what happens when you do log in for the first time. You can go to the profile section at the top and there is the add license key. So basically the first time it just puts this window comes up here and then you can paste the key in there and click add key. And then you'll also be able to see when, how long your license lasts for. Why is that not disappearing? That's odd. Oh, there we go. Something's gone slightly awry there. We should be okay. We'll get back into Learnable now. I'll press the home button. That always takes us back. Okay, so that's how you get into Learnable. So pretty quick, pretty simple. As you can see, also, Learnable is a web app-based solution, so there's no installation involved. We just need a web browser to get in. We can do that on a Chromebook, a MacBook, or a PC like I have. You can do it on a tablet as well. It's not optimized for mobile phones currently. So your sessions will be done on your big screen devices, basically. Okay, so how does a student use Learnable? What we need to do is tell the software that we have an exam and we need to feed it the information that our exam content is going to be on. So that's where you go to add exam resource. Click that here. You put your title in, your location, your time and date, and the length of the exam. So I've got an example to use. So I could be maybe it's a master's nursing degree I'm doing. It could be obviously anything. The topic cards are quite blank. I don't know why I put master's nursing because when you look at my human anatomy notes, I don't think they're quite master's level. They're a bit lower than that, I would say. But there's my title, my location, or where am I going to tomorrow? The Excel Centre, Excel Arena, London. And I'll be demonstrating Learnable there as well. So if anyone's going to bet tomorrow, I might see you there. Time and dates. I'm not going to put the exams tomorrow. I'm going to put that in a few months' time so we can see what it's like when we come to preparing. Let's say it's at 4:15 and it's a 45-minute long exam. Okay. We have then the information that we need to fill in. Once we've put our exam and everything details down, we have these topic cards. So this is an important part of using the software. The more information we put in here, the more we can extract out. It's kept quite clear, so you can add your material in, so it works across many different topics that you might be studying at school, college, or university. So you first give your topic a name. So let's say the first week of lectures, we learned all about the heart. So now I have spaces for different things. We've got key terms and definitions. So any new vocabulary that we're learning, we can put those in. Study notes from the class, images and diagrams, even web links we can put in there as well. So this is in itself a study session. It is a chance for the student to reflect on what they did that week, decide what they think they need to put in, and then start adding the material. So you would probably go off then to whatever device or system or way you took notes for your class. I've used Microsoft Word this time, but There's nothing stopping you from, however you take your notes in class. You might use a mind map, you might use Ivy Notes, you might use Glean. If that's where your text is, you can just copy and paste it straight in. I've just grabbed a definition of the heart there real quick, so I've got something of my key terms. I'm going to put a study note in here now. And, you can reread your notes at this time. You could expand them. You could be more concise and make some edits and just put exactly what you want to go into here. You can always come back and re-edit the topic cards whenever you like as well, if you want to put more information in. And as I said before, you can take images, put images in very easily as well. Let's go and find some images. We've got some images of the heart here. Excellent. Let's bring those in. You can even put a couple in at a time if you like. They're just little thumbnails, but you can click on them and you can see them nice and clearly from that angle as well. When the next week comes along, we add the next topic card. So it doesn't necessarily be every week. You might even do 2 topic cards from one lecture if it was very much on a few different topics. You can obviously decide how you'd like to do that. Let's say the other half was about the brain. So 2 buttons I didn't show you before are these auto-generate options as well. So if you want to, Lernabl can give you suggested key terms, and that bases itself on what your exam's called and what your topic card is called. So it knows that I'm doing the brain. It knows that I'm doing anatomy is the module that the exam's on, and that's why I've got all these parts of the brain, because that's what anatomy is kind of about, isn't it? All the different parts of the body. It also has the ability to do a short summary of 50 or 100 words for study notes as well. That is kind of, if you really struggled to put some material in, maybe you didn't make the session that week, it's only a very small amount there. So you might use that if you've got nothing to perhaps then go and do some reading and research and then add the material that way. So there is one other method of adding material in as well, and that is at the top here. You can access sample resources. So we do have some stuff built in, and this is more for GCSE rather than A level. But if it is school students using it, we've got currently geography, English, chemistry, and maths built into there. But there are also the ability for institutions to make their own resources, give them to you, and you can import them as well. So a teacher or an institution, if they've got a site license, then they might create their own material for the students to learn to add in. And then you press that button and open the file. So you do have those options too. But once you've finished adding the material in for that session, just hit save. Oh, no, I just don't need to close that one. It can notice if your input's brief because it didn't put many notes in the second topic card, so it's just suggesting maybe you should go back. But we're going to save anyway. And I'm going to create the exam for us there. And there we go. Once you've developed your topic cards, it will take you to the My Exams section. I'm just going to go home real quick and just show you where that is. Because the first time you add an exam, you will use that top button, but then adding more material for that exam from then on, you'll be clicking on My Exams, and that way you can see each exam you've got and all the topic cards you've got for each one of those exams. And as we're looking here, there is, I've got different topics, I've got kind of geography, environmental science thing going on there. History one, zoology. I've even got Spanish terminology there to practice. It works with many different topics. So if you want to add to your particular exam, you can view that. It'll then just show you the topic cards as their names. But then you can click the drop down to expand on them, and then you can hit the edit button in the top right hand corner, and that will allow you to edit that current topic card, or as shown in the bottom left hand corner, add new topic cards as time moves on. Always remember to save that once you're done as well before you leave. So that is the feeding part of Lernabl. 2 seconds. I've done a lot of talking today, so my voice is starting to get a bit croaky. So apologies for that. So we've been feeding it. We want to do a study session. We want to look at all the different study methods that Lernabl has. We want to interact with the software. Interacting with the software is as easy as one, two, three. Choosing your exam, choosing the area that you'd like to focus on, and then choosing your study method. Number two is optional. I'm just going to go to number three really quickly. So here is where all the study methods currently are. We have flashcards. We can create mnemonics in Lernabl. We can do an exercise called read, cover, retell, check. We can play the concentration game. We can record audio and listen back to ourselves. We can do an exercise called read a minute, bullet a minute, or Rambam for short. We can do an exercise called funneling, which is kind of a summarization exercise where you've got a big box, a smaller box, and an even smaller box to kind of work on your summary skills and help you be more concise. You've got the method of Cornell note taking, fill in the blanks, text to speech, and you can even create a meme. So those are the different methods that we currently have, but we're always making more. And with it being web app based, they'll just get added in. But you'll also see you've got your focus modes as well. So you can tell Lernabl that I want to work on comprehension. I want to work on creative thinking, or you can take them away. And what that will do is it will suggest that which study methods are good for that area of focus. This is a great way of trying to find out new bits of the things you want to work on. So I want to work on comprehension, for example. It's suggesting fill in the blanks is a good one for that. And then to start a study session, you just click on that and then it will load your exercise of the one that you want to use. So let's just go back home a second. Have I selected the right? Oh, I haven't picked an exam. That's why I can't. I did wonder where that had gone. 2 secs. Let's just get that there. Where was my exams? All my exams seem to have disappeared. They were there a second ago. I'll just refresh the page. Hopefully, there we go. And there we go. It's loaded up for us. Cool. So, every study method that is in Lernabl will allow you to choose your exam and then load up. They'll always have these two boxes at the top. So the exam that you're currently on and the topic card that you're currently extracting information from. You can easily change this with the drop-down arrow, and then it will reload whichever topic card you want to do your study session on. So the other thing you'll get with every study method is the title of what it is, fill in the blanks. Now, some study methods are very self-explanatory, but others you might not know how to use them. So every study method has an I next to it. So you click I, and then it tells you all about that study method. You can have that read out loud and listen to it if you like. It tells you how it works. It also tells you how it's going to help you as well. So filling the blanks is, said a bit self-explanatory. It's extracting from our notes, taking some words away, and we're having to guess what words are there or making the informed decision. This is great self-assessment because it's a chance to kind of go over your notes. Hopefully you'll understand your notes with text comprehension. It's motivating me to read the notes because there's that slight gamification there because I'm trying to work out what's missing. And then hopefully that's going to, lead to some memory retention and remember what those notes are. It'll always tell you how it's going to help you as well. And I think that's quite nice because, you might see a study method and go, yeah, do you know what? This is what I need to help me today. Or if it's something you think, well, actually, I'm all right with that, go back and look at a different method. This has easy and hard mode on it as well, which I quite like. So, the first few times you might want to do it with the options, but as you get a bit more confidence, you might want to take them away and have a guess yourself. And also, what you can do to stay on this particular study method is you can keep changing the hidden words, and then you will get different options each time to read. It's a great way of perhaps practicing a speech as well, not just trying to learn your material. Off we go. We start reading. The something of the skin is a complex topic that involves understanding the three main layers of the skin. Is it the understanding of the skin? Could be. The skin of the skin, that doesn't sound right. The fat of the skin, the anatomy of the skin, that could work. I think anatomy could be the answer for this one. I'm gonna go for that. And we'll carry on reading. It provides a protective barrier against the environment and contains cells such as melanites or melanocytes that produce melanin, giving the something its color. Melanin color, that could be skin. That sounds good. I'm not going to read the rest of them. I'm just going to guess, just to show you what happens if you don't put the correct answers in. What else? What word haven't I used? Understanding. There we go. Right, let's reveal. There we go. I got a couple right for guessing, but not, well, one. But that just shows you, the importance of reading carefully, making the informed decision, and going there. So that is how one of the study methods within Learnable works. And as I said, you can even quickly go to a different topic card, load up that note. You can stay engaged in a study method because it's so easy just to keep in the same place that you are. And that's what we want to try and do, increase engagement with our study sessions. I'll click home, we'll come back out. I can change to a completely different exam this time if we like. And maybe we want to go for active recall. We'll look at a study method that's quite contrasting to the other one we just got. That was quite a heavy reading method. This one, we're going to look at concentration. So again, we just click which one we want to have a go with. It'll then load up the cards, load up the notes, whatever we're going to use. We can choose which topic card we're going to use as well. And if we don't understand how to use the study method, we press I. We can read the instructions. We've got to start the game. We can start the timer on this one as well. So you can time yourself on how long you want to complete this for. Turn over the cards. Keep flipping the cards until we've matched all the key terms and definitions. And we can repeat again and again. Try and beat your previous time. And again, this is good reducing stress. This is keeping us engaged. It's a good memory challenge as well. So as I said, I know how to use this one now, so I can set myself a timer. 2 minutes. Hopefully I should be able to do it by then. Hit start. We can flip it over. We get a word, run off. What does run off mean? Oh, it's kind of like, we're talking about the water cycle now. We've moved away from human anatomy. Run off is like water that's kind of flowing down after it's rained onto the surface of the earth. Evaporation. Evaporation, that's kind of when heats up, turns into vapor. What's over here? Any form of water that falls from the atmosphere, rain, snow, yeah, that sounds like precipitation. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, that's condensation. Precipitation, there we go. I think that's the right one. Once you get them right, they will stay flipped over. Infiltration. Oh, well, that was lucky. I didn't have to read that one. I just got that one. Sometimes you'll get that on this activity. Process of water liquid turned into water vapor when heated. That sounds like evaporation. Was that there? Oh no, that's condensation. There's evaporation. And there we go. The movement of water over land on the surface. That sounds like the first card I flipped over, which was runoff. There we go. And the last one, process in which water vapor cools. That sounds, and forming cloud. That sounds like condensation. And you're thinking, Sam, how do you know all these? And I tell you why, it's because I've done this exercise quite a few times. It's made me memorize all the definitions. So proof that it works, which is great. Thankfully, I did that with 42 seconds left, which is awesome. Right, that's another method down. Now, in this bottom right-hand corner, you'll notice that something that says save. So some of the study methods have this button available for you to press. What it does is it saves it into the save sessions part of the software. So once you've saved that, it goes in. I think the servers are running a little bit slow today because everything's taking longer than it usually does, but I think it's still working, so that's all good. So apologies if we do have any issues, but so far so good. Here it is, save sessions. So once I click into here, It will load up my saved sessions. I think my internet's just been a bit poor, or I'm just impatient. It'll do that for whichever exam you were last working on, but again, you can switch if you like. But basically, all the exercises that I've done saved. So we can see here that I've had to go a few times with the funneling exercise. I've created a meme for this exam. I've had to go with the concentration game. I've created a couple of mnemonics as well, which is great. What we can do is you can tick the ones that you would like, and you can create a study resource with those selected sessions. And this just puts it all onto a nice kind of Word document for you. You've kind of got a pool of all your revision for that exam. So if you like printing things out, or if you want something offline, something to kind of read through, it's a great way of just kind of reviewing what you've done in your study sessions. Once it's created that, I will open it up for you guys to see. And it'll open up in Microsoft Word once that's downloaded for us as well. As I said, some reason today it is having a little bit of a slower time. We keep waiting. That's all good. Okay. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. That is, oh, there we go. It is done. Everything's just being a little slower than usual. Let me go to my downloads and pick that up. Here we go. So this is what it looks like. You get your revision pool of your exam, which was the Rivers of the World. It then organizes them by topic. So the first topic is the water cycle. And in the water cycle topic, I've completed the concentration and I've got my matched up key terms and definitions. I had to go with the funneling exercise where I got some notes. I tried to summarize it and then summarize it again. The quickest way of the water cycle is literally evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and it all starts all over again. Then I can move. I've created a mnemonic as well. It's also part of my water cycle topic there. And then the next topic was for parts of the river. And with that one, I created a meme. So it's nice and organized for the exam, and it's a great resource to have. So that is your save sessions. Click home, we can come back out from there. Right. Let's carry on going up. So we've looked at the save sessions. I want to show you some other little bits of the software as well. If you want to go further into the study methods and see write-ups of each of them, there is the ability to do that from study methods. It will show you them all here, so it's easy to view them, and a quick kind of one-liner about, a short description about each one. If you want more details, you just click Learn More, and then it'll even tell you how to use it. The little examples on there as well. This is a bit alternative and fun, creating memes. It's a nice one you can share with your friends, with your peers. And you can go back to your study methods as well. So if you want to learn more about each method, that's a good place to go. We've also got advice on study wellbeing and tips here on the left-hand side. And that's got everything from like taking breaks and why that's useful. This is just all readable, but you can read it out loud by clicking the button at the top right-hand side, or you can even download it, put it onto Word if you want it there instead. And you can just move through the different categories. And again, just go home when you're ready. The focus areas, if you're unsure about what this is all about, you can click on that and it will tell you, about memory retention. It will also say, these are the methods that are good for memory retention. These are the methods which are good for comprehension. These are the methods that are good for creative thinking. So again, if you're thinking, oh, I want to work on something different today, where should I go? And that's a good area to look at as well. While we're on the home screen, I'm going to just show you some view buttons. As I said, this is a deep dive today. So your profile, we looked at the beginning. That just shows you, what your email's registered and when it's going to run out. There are some accessibility options. So you can set the color scheme, you can set which fonts are used, and you can set which voice used for playback in there as well. In terms of accessibility, there's also the ability to turn it into dark mode for those who prefer that style of working. You can have it in that style as well. But it's also areas where you can go to the user guide really quickly and the quick start guide really fast as well. But speaking of that and using help around the software, the YouTube page is great for that. Here's a playlist of all these kind of little bite-sized videos, and you can see here like how to set up the topic cards, looking at the focus areas, using the mock exam feature. So I'm going to put that link to you guys there so you can save that and view those too. But let's get back into Lernabl. I want to have a look at some time management tools, and that's where the study planner can be really useful. So the study planner allows us to bring in an academic calendar or an iCal file with our schedule on. You can import your calendar. To get that, you can go onto your own email or on your phone and go into settings and then export, and you can export as an iCal file. So you can do that on Gmail, you can do that on your iPhone, you can do that in Outlook as well. Then once you've got your dates in, you can create a study plan. If you don't have your schedule on an iCal file, you can add your own manual commitments as well. So I play squash. Maybe, I don't want study sessions to interrupt with my squash sessions. So I'll put the event date on today. I play squash in the evenings. So like 6 till 7. And then I do that every week. So once you put all those bits in, you can then put how long you want that to run for. So yeah, I play squash all the way till March. Click save. And then those squash sessions are added into the calendar. Obviously, we're near the end of the month now, but if I go into February, you can see all those dates in there, which is great. Now, if we want to create a study plan, once we've got any events in there, once we click this, you can choose your exam. So let's go to our Masters in Nursing exam. You can choose the topics that we want the study sessions to be on. And then we can create the study planner once we've added that in. And then what it's going to do is going to ask us a few questions. So it knows that the study times are going to be between 22nd of January, which is today, and the 22nd of April, because that's the day before the exam was scheduled. And then you can tell it what times you want the sessions to be. So, maybe I'm a bit of a night owl and I like doing things in the evening. I feel better at those times. So maybe between the hours of 5 and even like 11 o'clock. I could give it quite a big gap if I wanted to. Mondays are good, Thursdays are good, Saturdays are good for me. Maybe because I have a lot of university on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm an evening and night person, but I've got ADHD, so maybe the sessions should be 15 minutes. So you give it all these parameters, what it'll let you do is update the study planner and create those study sessions for you and then add them into the calendar. So there we go. We're getting 3 sessions a week. And if I click on them, you can see what time they're going to be. So that's at 5 till 5:15. So it hasn't interrupted the squash game that's later on. So it won't put it over other events that are in there. What you can do with that is you can export the calendar once you've put your study planner in, turns it into an iCal file. So you can go back to where you're, back on your phone, back on your Gmail or your Outlook. You can import the calendar in, and then you'll get notifications of when to do the study sessions. Because I think that's a pretty useful tool for those who, just need that extra time management push. Yes, I'll go use Lernabl for 15 minutes. That's good, I've got time. So yeah, handy tool built in with Lernabl there. Okay. The final thing to show you is the mock exam feature as well. So once you've been interacting with Lernabl, doing the study sessions, playing with the different methods, you might want to give yourself a little test. Mock exam feature is a great place to do that. What it will do is it will load all of your previous exams. If you used this before, you can start new exam straight away. And again, you can flick to a different exam if this isn't the one you want to, quiz yourself on. It'll load the topic cards, so it makes the questions based on those. So if you're really confident in rivers of the world, you can untick that if you like. Then it'll ask you what type of questions you'd like the exam to be on. So multiple choice style questions, true or false style questions, fill in the blank style questions. Let's have a mix of all of them. Set how long it's going to be, or you can type this in rather than pressing the up button. 15 minutes, 10 questions. Then you've got your country in there. So I want it UK based, and you've got your education level in there as well. So you've got GCSE, A level, university, and that just changes the difficulty of the questions. Once you've set all the parameters, hit go, and it will automatically start the mock exam. Or your other option is to look at your previous ones. So I did one yesterday, almost at the same time. Maybe I've done some more studying since then, so I want to retake this to see if I can get a best score. So we'll retake the exam. So if you hit go or hit retake exam, it looks like this. So if you create a new exam, it'll start off, your timer will start, your question will begin, and then you can click the next question. It won't put the questions in the same order as it did before as well. So you've got that extra option going on if you're repeating an exam. We have all the options. So we know this question is on the water cycle. We've got this question number 2. We've got the question there. You can jump back to your previous question or move to your next question. You can leave the exam and come back at another time, or you can restart the exam completely if perhaps you made a mistake or something. And then finally, you hit submit exam once you're done. I'm only on question 2, so let's move along. Does it that when it falls, maybe? We'll click next. What's not a stage of the water cycle? Photosynthesis. I think that's more to do with plants. We'll click next. We could say true or false. We'll have a little guess there. I'm not reading. I'm just going through this quickly just to show you. But I got the exact same answer result as I did yesterday. But never mind. I need to revise more. Yes, good advice. But when you've completed your test, this is what you get. You get your score. You get a visual representation of the time. We have 15 minutes. I've only used 1. Maybe the reason I didn't do so well was because I wasn't focusing and thinking about the answers to the questions for long enough, and I rushed it. So maybe next time I will try and use all the time and, until I hit that submit button. We can go to the questions themselves and you can see which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong, what topic they were on, parts of the river, got that one right, great stuff. I got 2 water cycle questions wrong. I got 1 water cycle question right. And then another one on parts of the river wrong as well. So if I'm going to go back and do some more revision, I think I should probably start with the water cycle. I think that would be a good place to go. And that's what you could do. So, it's good to kind of get this feedback in there as well. And that is it. That is your deep dive into Lernabl. So thank you very much for listening, guys. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. That's not a problem. I will be reaching out to you guys probably because tomorrow is Friday and I'm away very early tomorrow morning. I'm out all day on Monday, so apologies for that. But thanks very much for coming along. And my email is just sam@aventino.com. And I'll just double check there is some stuff in the Q&A. I don't want to miss that. There's no videos on the playlist for Ramban and Reader Minutes. Can you explain these functions? Yeah, and so you can see any exercise that Lernabl has the I next to them. So I'll just share my screen really quickly just to show you for Reader Minute, bullet and funneling. I'll come back. If anyone wants to stay and see this, you're more than welcome to. So if I wanted to do funneling one, click on funneling. What it does is it loads my notes into there. But if I'm unsure how to do it, we can click I. The funneling method helps you focus your thoughts and understand the elements of your topic by starting with a broader understanding and then prompt you to narrow it down to the most crucial points. So this exercise helped me summarize a topic effectively and hopefully facilitate better recall for exams and discussions. So we've got the top box, the middle box, and the bottom box. So there you go. So I go in there, and obviously I've got a smaller box to type my notes in. I'm trying to summarize again from that one as well. As I said, every exercise has an I in there. So if you do get stuck, that's how you learn how to use them. We will make some more. The playlist is very new. It only came out, I think it was just at the start of the year or at the end of last year. So it's got the main features, but everything has always got an eye on it and it can always be read aloud. There we go. Awesome. Brilliant. I will stop the share on there and I think we are all done. Brilliant. Oh, and there are some other questions as well. So are the AI key impact information of topics giving GCSE info? So the AI bits with the so that was for the boost buttons, and they are based on what your topic cards are called and what your exam is called. So it's not based on any level of education. It's more based on the names of what you've put into there. And there are strict parameters in there, so it can give the most accurate information possible as well. So thanks for that question, Kim. That's a good question. No worries, Norma. Thanks for posting your question as well. That was a good question too. Brilliant. I'm going to stop the recording now